I wanted to take some time today to respond to Ahmed, who is somebody who commented on my last video. Ahmed said, I actually posted my first video on TikTok with my face, and I want to say thank you for helping me with the motivation. I want to say, let's go, congrats. That's a huge first step to just put yourself out there if you've never done it before. It takes a lot of courage. And so I want to give you your flowers and props to you for that. That's a huge step entering into this world of social media. It's a weird, strange world. And they said, I guess I'd be curious to know when to whip out the phone or camera to record. I also align heavily with the ADHD, and my thoughts are truly in other dimensions and realities of life. So I don't know when or what to make of a video. Again, I just want to acknowledge the fact that you started, because that's the first step and the hardest step for most people, is to just turn on the camera and start recording themselves. So snaps and claps to you. That first step really is everything. I've been making content for 19 years now. I don't have millions of followers. I'm not super famous or anything, nor do I want to be. And I started making content with the intention to understand myself at a deeper level, never to go viral or to even make a lot of money online. I do have 30,000 or so followers on Instagram, so short form was an area that I was exploring a lot back then and found a lot of success on. And doing that, I realized that I can make $20,000 in a very short period of time. Before I started learning the skills to make that possible, though, I, again, was creating content for the pure joy of it. I actually love making content. I've created over 20,000 pieces of content. I've published thousands of pieces of content on different social media platforms, testing and refining and seeing what works and what doesn't, but all with the intention of how can I be more of my authentic self? And so being a content creator for as long as I have been, and with all the different approaches that I've tried out over the years, I think I could share a few tips that have helped me in my journey and what's worked for me. Now, when it comes to knowing when to whip out the phone or camera to record, what I found in my 18 years of making content as somebody with ADHD, it's really important, so important, to make use of the moment that you have the inspiration and the motivation, the energy, the impulse to express something, because that inspiration is fleeting, especially for us people with ADHD, because we're constantly like, what's the next thing that excites us? And if we don't act on an idea the moment that we have it, sometimes, and what I find most of the time, it'll just never happen. So as I re-enter back into YouTube, I'm trying to retrain myself to just act on my creative impulses again. Now that we've gotten to the importance of acting on our creative impulses, we need to ride the wave of that creative energy and momentum. Otherwise, that idea will lose steam and we just won't act on it. And one of the ways to nurture and cultivate that is also removing creative friction. The friction it takes to press record and start making a video. For example, I invested a lot into my setup because it makes it super easy for me to just click record without any friction. If there's friction, then you just won't make the thing. And I'm not just talking to you, Ahmed, but just anyone who's watching this video and is entering into being a content creator or even advanced people. Figure out ways that you can remove as much friction as possible in your creative process so that you spend less time worrying about setting things up and more time actually just making things. Before, I thought I needed a $5,000 camera setup, which I do have. But at this point in my life, being a content creator for 18 years, I'd much rather have a little tiny Osmo Pocket 3 camera, this little microphone, and just film everything on a little pocket setup that just fits in my pocket. Back then, I had a big chunky camera, and so it would take a lot of effort for me to actually click the record button and set up the tripod and everything to just film myself. Now, thankfully, we have phones. I just got this Osmo Pocket 3, so I can always have it on my person, and the moment that I have inspiration, I can just turn on the camera, record, and start capturing myself. Now, when it comes to not knowing when or what to make of a video, I think this is something that every single creator will have to learn just by doing and experimenting a lot. There's a lot of people who say things like, be consistent, just post a lot. And there's a lot of truth to that. You have to get into the habit and the momentum of your workflow and how you edit your videos, how you even get into the right mental space or the right inner space to turn on the camera and record and be present on the video camera. And once you figure those things out, you just have to put stuff out there. And I'm not saying be consistent, like post every single day or post once a week or anything like that. Anyone new starting to content creation doesn't really need to set those types of expectations for themselves. In the case of this question and the energy I feel that they're at and where they're at, make things, try things, experiment, and have fun with the different topics that you talk about. But the best part is it's pretty easy for us with ADHD because we have so many ideas. We have so many rabbit holes that we can go down. Just allow yourself to ramble and rant. Then watch yourself and how you articulate yourself. Watch how you tell stories and see for yourself. Just sit with yourself and you ask yourself, did I like how I told that story? Did that make sense to me, how I communicated the idea? Are there gaps in how I explain things? How does it make your body feel? Does it feel good in your gut? Does it feel good in your heart space? Does it feel good in your mind space? It's a constant journey of how do we refine how we express ourselves more truly and authentically to ourselves. I'm trying to think of more practical things because this is all mindset stuff. Another thing that I always recommended to my clients and partners is to make content for the version of yourself 2 years ago. Chances are there are probably things that your current self knows that the version of yourself 2 years ago never knew. Make content for that version of yourself that would have really appreciated the video that you make today. And what you'll find is when you make content for that old version of yourself, there's actually a lot of people who are that old version of yourself and who don't know the things you know and who are going through the same problems that that version of yourself was going through too. There's a lot of advice on YouTube and in the content creation world to niche down and niche yourself to a thing. I think the beautiful thing about ADHD, and I'm trying to make my channel around no niche. I think that's why talking about attention directed to higher dimensions is such a fun area for me. A lot of people talk about niching, but I think what's more important is to not choose a niche because that will block you in and it'll make you feel trapped in a niche. I know, because same thing happened with me. What you really want, and I think what a lot of people want, is to not focus on a niche, but to focus on an avatar, focus on a type of person that you're talking to. Back then when I first started YouTube 18 years ago, I didn't really know who I was talking to. I was just making content and putting stuff out there because I enjoyed it. But now going back into YouTube, I realized that it's about giving value. People watch videos, people watch creators because they give something of value. It either educates them, inspires, entertains, or is empathic. It makes people feel seen, heard, and understood. And so think about the type of person. Think about like in your life maybe. Pay attention to the people around you. What do they always ask you for advice for? What are the problems that you always find yourself solving for your friends and your loved ones? Those are really good places to start. What are the struggles that they usually have? I want to invite you and anyone who's watching this to reflect on that. Those conversations hold clues to the value that you can give to an audience and to a specific avatar. For example, the type of person that I want to talk to on this channel is a person who resonates with ADHD traits, who loves to be a perpetual learner and constantly learn new things. People who have maybe some entrepreneurial qualities, creatives who want to run their own businesses, or people who are also maybe a little bit more analytical, who think very deeply about things. This place isn't really for surface level content where I follow trends because I don't want to follow trends. I want to talk to people and talk to old versions of myself that have depth to them, or depth that they haven't explored yet, or an entrepreneurial itch to just make something and build their own business, or even create content, or maybe understand their mental health at a deeper level. And mind you, this took me 19 years for me to figure out that this is who I serve, and that's through testing and trying out so much shit. Anyway, this is something that I wish I knew when I first started YouTube, is who are you talking to? So backtracking a little bit to answer the questions, whip out the phone or camera the moment that you have the inspiration to film the thing. The moment that you have the inspiration to express something that means a lot to you. We have to develop a habit, and I'm doing this too. We have to develop a habit of capturing how we express our excitement. We have to remove the friction that it takes to do that and just press record in those states. The good news, as people with ADHD, we have plenty of ideas to share. And when it comes to not knowing when or what to make of a video, a great way to start is to make content for the version of yourself 2 years ago. I just thought of another thing, but you could also ask an audience. If you have anyone who's commenting on your videos, like right now, I only have 2 videos on here. I only have 26 subscribers, and thank you all for being here. But like I'm just starting out. And a really great way to speed up that process on knowing what to post is to just ask. When people are starting to engage with your content, ask them, how can I help you? How can I serve you? That's what I did in this question. I asked if you have any questions, comment in here, and I can probably help make a video on it. Just ask what people want. Use a poll on your Instagram, or use a poll on your TikTok, or make a video asking what people are struggling with. Ask your friends, what are you struggling with? Go out there and find a problem and find your favorite problems to solve. That's why in that video I was talking about the 12 favorite problems. When we can find a problem to solve, we can harness our ADHD and our desire to want to solve puzzles and figure things out and hyper-focus on that to creating content that actually helps solve that problem. Great creators, great educators, great teachers, great businesses. The reason why anyone grows at all in social media, in my eyes and in my relationship to my artistry and my craft, creativity in itself is an act of solving problems. So again, when or what to post, find your favorite problems and try to solve those things. Allow yourself to ramble and speak stream of consciousness about how you would solve a thing, how you would do a thing. With people with ADHD, I think we all have very unique ways of how we approach different types of problems. So Ahmed, I hope this was helpful for you, and your question I'm sure will help a lot of other people too. Also, thank you to all the people who subscribed and who are leaving comments and asking questions. That really helps me shape the purpose and the intention and the type of content that I can post on this channel, and really helps it be a co-created thing. It's not just about me. My intention for going back into YouTube is, one, to heal my creative self, but also to create an authentic and genuine community around the things that I personally enjoy, but also around the things that you guys enjoy too. And to have this be a supportive and loving and nurturing and passionate and productive and valuable community for all of us to help us grow and become our best self. If anyone else has any questions about content creation, about ADHD, about mental health, about being creative, in my life, I've been a professional filmmaker. I've done weddings, I've done debuts, I've done YouTube content. I used to do daily vlogging. I posted so much content online over the years that I took all down because I developed a lot of shame around it. I was also a professional dancer. I danced for the Jabberwockies in 2015, right after I barely graduated high school and got released from a mental institution after I tried killing myself. Like, I've had a lot of experiences, and I just have so much that I want to give and share. So if anyone has questions on how I did something, then I would love to help on this channel. That's what I want it to be about. And I would love to help in a way that also feels authentic and genuine to me. Yeah, I'm even getting hyped up right now just talking about it like this. All of your questions, whoever is watching this video, will help shape the direction and the community that I hope to build on here. I love you all like I love myself, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever that's about.